The Rockets, they could give some teams some problems in the playoffs.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of quarter to three. Hard work, work. Let it go and earn more pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. And look, hey, before we even get started, y'all know why my hat crooked. Well, because my life is crooked right now, especially this morning. Hey, look, y'all know anything? We had that happy hour last night for 2 hours. I gotta give me some water, y'all. Hold on for a second. You are the reason that I am coming back like this in full force. Cause you know what's so funny? I did a show yesterday. I did the show a day before that. I'm doing the show this morning, and I'm gonna do a Texans happy hour. Cause I think that everybody needs a little Houston Texans talk in their life, right? So I appreciate it. Good morning to y'all. I gotta get some water. You're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're following me on the Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. Good morning. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, it is 9:45 in the morning. If you still sleep, get your ass up. Wake up. Let's go. Let's get it. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. That's just me. Some habits die hard. I'm not gonna even lie. Some habits, some habits die hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta see something if I got something in here right quick. Y'all give me a second. There we go. Hold on. Let me see something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Y'all see that? Oh, what? What? Let me see. Let me see if I do this. Y'all give me a second. Huh? La 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 la. Hold on. Here we go. Started out hustling, ended up balling. Started out hustling, ended up balling. Let me see something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I should have been done there. Hold on. Let me see something. What y'all talking about over here? Oh, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate you catching up on it. All right, so look, y'all know how we do it over here, right? Y'all know how we do it on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. You know, before we jump into any sports talk, we like to mix it up. And and so let me look. I did that for a reason. All right. So listen, let me tell you all this, right? Before I start talking about the Houston Rockets, before I get into any sports, if you're new to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, there's always something we're going to talk about before we jump into sports. And so if you need to leave and come back, I definitely understand, but come back. Hey, y'all remember on Friday when he told Smokey, come back. Come back. So if you leave because you don't want to listen to what I'm about to talk about next with this Buzz and Petty segment, just go ahead and leave and then come back. Just come back. I would love for you to do. If you don't, you have a blessed day and have a blessed weekend. I got to get into this, y'all. Let me get into this Buzz and Petty section real quick of this show. Right? Let me get into this Buzz and Petty. Okay. I tweeted this out this morning. Hey, I'm the only one that finds it weird that R. Kelly is back in the news. Me. I'm the only one that finds it weird that R. Kelly is back in it. Like everybody is listening to him sing on the phone, and he was on a podcast singing on the phone. I think he sung "Happy Birthday" to some young lady, and then he started doing a remix of Chris Brown's "Residuals" or something like that. And I'm saying to myself, okay, time out, time out. Listen, I love bump and grind just like anybody else, right? I love sex me just like anybody else. I love I wish. I love the R. Kelly You Save Me gospel album. I love all of that too, right? I love Remix to Ignition. I love all of that. I do. R. Kelly got some slaps, right? And I know how to separate the man from the music. Because if you tell me not to listen to music based off of someone's character, then what am I listening to? Instrumentals? And then that's not even that. Look, that may not even be good because the person who made the instrumentals may have some character flaws too. Some of your greatest and your most liked and your favorite musical artists, they got character flaws. So I know how to separate the man from the music. I don't need to hear you from no jail phone, R. Kelly, because I know why you in jail. You scream you're innocent. Hey, you may be innocent. I don't know. You got convicted in the court of law. I ain't never watched the videos because I thought that was weird. But for the people who did watch the videos, they say that was you, R. Kelly. That was you. That was you. So I don't get it. How y'all listening to this man on this? Like some content just don't need to be consumed. And I'm talking about that. Some of these podcasts y'all listen to, some of these sports podcasts y'all listen to, some of these local radio shows y'all listen to. Hey man, some of that stuff don't need to be consumed. Just let it go. I heard that thing. I said I would not, never ever in my life again. No way, no how. Because you know how you be on social media, you watch you watch a video, like say you on Twitter, you watch a video, and then it scrolls to the next video, and then it popped up, and it's like, R. Kelly. I was like, okay. Now I sat there, I said, never again. Because you in jail for a reason, R. Kelly. And like you ain't in there for tax evasion. You ain't in there for a white collar crime. You in there because you were convicted of doing some very nasty things. Like you took your music literal. You in jail for a reason, R. Kelly. And I just find it weird that some of y'all are pumping up R. Kelly, making R. Kelly seem like he this, that, and other. And I'm saying to myself, bro, y'all are doing the most. Couldn't be me. Now, don't get me wrong. That don't mean I'm gonna stop listening to R. Kelly's old music. But I don't want to hear R. Kelly on no jail phone. Hell, I don't want to hear Tory Lanez on no jail phone. I don't want to hear P. Diddy on no jail phone. Like, I don't want, listen. Well, my favorite rap group is Outkast. If Andre 3000 went to jail, I don't want to hear him playing no damn flute over no. I don't. I don't want to hear Andre 3000 from no jail phone. And R. Kelly been accused of some bad stuff. I don't want to hear that. I'm good on that, R. Kelly. I don't see how y'all do it. Like somebody gonna have to tell me how y'all do that type stuff. I don't want to listen to R. Kelly in jail. Look, I ain't gonna even lie. Okay, so this how crazy I am, right? This how crazy I am. I'll be honest with you. This how crazy I am. I'm imagining R. Kelly on that podcast on that jail phone and a dude hugging him around the waist. Talking about, dude, go ahead and do it, or go ahead and sing that thing, Robert. That's just me. I mind things like that. I'm like, he's singing, like, well, who holding him around the waist? I feel like he be on the jail phone and the dude be kissing him on the neck. He just seems like he freaky like that. Like maybe that's just me. I don't know, but that's something like I'm like, hey, is a dude behind R. Kelly while he's singing? and you on a jail phone singing in prison, a male prison. Hey, I bet you he wouldn't be doing that if what's that what's the man from the Boondocks skit? The one that was the one that they had, they went and they interviewed him in prison, and the one that Desi Banks just did uh the one that Desi Banks just did the thing with. Hold on, y'all, I gotta look this up. Hold on, y'all, give me 1 second. Hey, this is why you come to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. uh Hold on. Fleece Johnson. How many of y'all know who Fleece Johnson is? Fleece Johnson, aka the Booty Warrior. Yeah, y'all remember Fleece Johnson? Like I said, he just did a skit with Desi Banks the other day. Fleece Johnson is the man that said, I love booty more than I love life. Now, mind you, he's in a male prison. He said he loved booty more than he loved life. Y'all remember on the Boondock skit with when Chris Hansen walked in there? You know, Chris Hansen, who used to catch a predator, and they did the skit, and they said, he said, I know who you are. You Chris Hansen, but I like to call you Chris Handsome. I likes you and I want you. Y'all know, and Fleece Johnson was married to a woman. Fleece Johnson got married. Like, no, I think he got married after he got out of jail. It's like, what? So, as I digress, I could just imagine the new Fleece Johnson standing behind R. Kelly holding his waist while R. Kelly is singing into the phone. Wow. Wow. Tay. Hey, look, Tay, hold on. You said you wanted a preview of the Buzz and Petty podcast. You said you wanted the Buzz and Petty. Look in the top corner right there. You see it? I'm doing a Buzz and Petty segment before I start talking about sports. And good morning to you. No, I'm just saying, like, it's weird. It's weird that R. Kelly, everybody is R. Kelly's video is making a circulation of him singing on the jail phone, and I'm like, well, who holding him while he's singing these songs over the phone? Who's holding him? And I said I could imagine a person like Fleece Johnson, the Booty Warrior, is like, go ahead and sing it, Robert. Oh, I'm having too much fun. So, once again, you tune into the sports. Once again, you tune into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. I just gave you a preview of what the Buzz and Petty podcast is going to be like. Cause that's what it's like. Stuff like that. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't. Boy, I bet you Fleece Johnson heard R. Kelly singing. It was like, I want to go back to jail. Somebody send me back to prison, please. I am going to commit a crime right now. What jail? What prison is this? What unit is Robert on? He don't call him R. Kelly. He call him Robert. What unit is Robert on? I want to be on that unit. All right. Hey, so look. Hey, wait, hold on. What you mean don't do that? What you mean don't do that? I'll just give you a preview of what the Buzz and Petty podcast is like. No, Marcus, we're not. All I'm saying is I just don't understand why people are circulating and talking about R. Kelly again, singing on the jail phone. He in prison. He's in prison. I like R. Kelly too. I listen to R. Kelly too. I can separate the man from the music. I want to hear him singing on a jail phone with, you know what? Hey, the Rockets could give teams problems in the playoffs. What a weird transition. Oh, I'm having too much fun this morning, y'all. Hey, look. Hey, Queen told me to come back. I'm back. So Marcus out here on this Drewski and OBJ tip today. All right, get serious. Serious. All right, the title of this show is The Rockets Could Give Teams Problems in the Playoffs. And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I'm saying that the Rockets could give teams problems in the playoffs is because, the Rockets didn't win their 41st game until their last game of the season last year against the Los Angeles Clippers in Los Angeles. And they ended the season 41-41. And if they would have played better, right? If they would have played better throughout the season, they could have potentially made it into a play-in game. They could have potentially made it into a play-in game, and that would have been huge. That would have been big, especially for a team who had been through so much turmoil and adversity in the past 3 years. I've said this before. I'll say it again. There's a lot of people locally on some of these sports radio shows, on some of these podcast shows who took this, and I know that I was the first one to say it. I know I was the first one to say it, but I'll say it again. What did I say? The Houston Texans and the Houston Rockets are the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at each other. They are the exact same team, starting from the general manager to the head coach to the team, to the organization, to the fans. They are the exact same team. And so when you look at what the Houston Rockets are right now, it's the exact same thing that the Houston Texans were, that the Houston Texans are. The first year under Ime Udoka, they go 41-41 and barely miss making the playoffs. The first year of D'Amico Ryans, they win the AFC South to win a wild card game and go to the divisional round of the playoffs. Second year of D'Amico Ryans, they win the AFC South. They win a wild card game and they go to they lose in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Houston Rockets, the first year of Ime Udoka, goes 41-41, barely misses the play-in. Right now, they're currently 41-25, if I'm not mistaken. They're currently at 41-25. They're the fifth seed, and they sit at the fifth seed at 41-25. And the only thing that separates them being in the fifth seed and them being in the second seed, which Memphis currently holds, is that Memphis is 42-24. Memphis is 42-24. The Houston Rockets are 41-25. Now, if they have the same record, the Rockets leapfrog them and go from being the fifth seed, to the second seed, because they own the season series. I think they played 4 times this year, and the Rockets have beaten them 3. I think their record is 3-1 against them, and it could have been 4-0, but I think the last time they played against Memphis in Memphis, they were playing without Alperen Şengün, and that's when Fred VanVleet took the last shot and he missed the last shot. But they were even up, on them in that game. But that was in a back-to-back. I think that was in a back-to-back as well. Was it a back-to-back? No, it wasn't a back-to-back. They had a game. No, maybe it was a back-to-back. They played Atlanta first. That was their makeup game that they had. Remember when they had the bad weather and they were supposed to play Atlanta and they didn't play them, and so they had to make that game up. And then you know what, Sarge? You have this walking computer at your fingertips. The Rockets have an app. Just go to the freaking app. All right. Where is it at? So there was a day in between. Okay, so there was a game in between. They played Atlanta, then they traveled to Memphis, but they own the season series over the Memphis Grizzlies. So there's, like I said, there's only a 1 game in the win-loss column. 1 win. The Memphis Grizzlies are 1 win better, 1 loss better than the Houston Rockets, because they are 42-24, and the Houston Rockets are currently 41-25. And that's a big, big accomplishment for them. The Houston Rockets just won. The Houston Rockets just won their 41st game Wednesday against the Phoenix Suns. And if you've been following this team, just like I told you, you remember the 3 years of adversity that the Houston Texans went through before D'Amico came. Think about the 3 years of adversity that the Houston Rockets went through before Ime Udoka came. And so now that Ime Udoka is here, it seems like what they did was they build off of what they went through last season and just added to that. And there's been some games that they've lost just because they've lost, but they've also had to battle, the injury bug. Şengün was hurt for a while. Fred VanVleet was out. I think he missed 16 of 17 games. I think when he played on Wednesday night, that was that was his first game back. He had missed, I think he had missed 16 games, played in the 17th. No, that was more than that. Fred VanVleet was out for a while, came back, twisted that same ankle on the ref's foot on the first play of the game, had to be out for a couple of more games, and then he came back. And so they were without Fred VanVleet for a while, out without Jabari Smith Jr. for a while. They were out Şengün. They're currently without Ahmed Thompson. And so it's been a while since they have played as a complete team, as a complete unit. And don't get me wrong, they've lost some games playing as a complete unit, but they've also lost the war of attrition and losing some of these games because of injuries, and they don't have their full roster. Oh, and not to mention Reese Shepard is out with a fractured with a broken thumb. So the Rockets haven't been fully healthy in a very long time. They haven't had their full complement of players for a very long time. I think Jabari Smith Jr. missed 22 games before the All-Star break. And that was in the midst of Şengün also being hurt. And I think Fred was hurt as well. So anyway, with the Rockets winning their 41st game on Wednesday, that's a huge accomplishment. That's big. That's a big feat for the Houston Rockets. And now, one of the reasons why I say they could give teams problems in the playoffs, I got a list, right? Not that type of list. I told y'all, people who make like once basketball season is over, and we go into the off season of basketball, and we're going to be in the off season of football. It's going to be a lot of who you think is the greatest quarterback of all time. I can make a case for Tom Brady, but I can also make a case for Joe Montana. And if we're doing recency bias, I could also make a case for Patrick Mahomes. Who's your top 10 quarterback list? Lazy journalism. Who's the best wide receiver to ever play in the game? Who's better, LeBron or Jordan? I can make a case for Kobe to be I can make a case for Kobe to be in the greatest of all time conversation as well. And if you're old school, you would say maybe a Bill Russell, maybe a Wilt Chamberlain. If we're just going strictly by championships and a championship and championship pedigree and what they did on the court, I can also make a case for Tim Duncan. You hear how I sounded? That's how they be sounding when they be making these lists. I'd be like, bro, you what? Because when they start doing these lists like that, when they start making the list, that means that they want the listeners and the viewers to do the work for them. Now you could do it like what the Houston Texans did. The Houston Texans said, hey man, what's the Mount Rushmore of the Houston Texans? Not what's the Mount Rushmore of the NFL. What's the Mount Rushmore of the Houston Texans? That's the way to do it. You could do that and you could have that type of conversation. But when they start doing all those other lists, to me, that's just lazy. So, but I have a list of things why I feel like the Houston Rockets could give teams in the West, teams in the Western Conference, some trouble in the playoffs. Now, let me preface my statement by saying this. Hey, that's excluding the Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen, when I start talking, I'm talking about everybody except Oklahoma City. All right? Talking about everybody but Oklahoma City. And maybe Golden State. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But the first thing that I have on my list is Amen Thompson. Amen Thompson is the X factor. He is an X factor. And in his second year, what Amen Thompson has been able to do, and you see how he's has garnered some national notoriety. You see how everybody is talking about him. And listen, I'm going to tell you like this. I mean, with Victor Wembanyama out and this latest injury, him twisting his ankle, this may hamper what I'm about to say, but clearly, Amen Thompson has made a case that he could be Defensive Player of the Year. The way that he plays, Amen Thompson is a very good two-way player. He plays on both ends of the court. He's very and listen, and look, his jump shot needs some more work. He knows that. He knows that he's not a great three-point shooter right now. He knows that that's not his strong suit. But I don't know if you all have noticed what he added to his game offensively from last year to this year. He's starting to take that little, in the lane floater, that in the lane jump shot. He's shooting a little bit more mid range, and then from time to time he'll shoot the three. But he knows that that's not his strong point right now, and he knows that he's not as effective from 3-point range as he is getting to the basket. Because if he drives to the hole and you stop him, then he's stop and pop. But if he gets past you, he's going to dunk on you. He gets past you, he's gonna dunk on you. Ain't nothing that you could really do about it. And so Amen Thompson being the X factor. Listen, if Amen Thompson doesn't make first team all defense this year, then there's some bias. And that means that they're probably going off some names. Because it ain't too many more players that you can name, not only in the Western Conference, but in the NBA as a whole, that's a better defender than Thompson. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. And so when you look at what he does on both ends of the court, where he comes down and puts pressure on who's ever holding him, he puts pressure on the defender. He can put the pressure on the defender, and then he comes down and he can hold your best player. He can hold your point guard. He can hold your shooting guard. He can hold your small forward. He can hold your power forward. And from time to time, because of his height and because of his athleticism, you can switch him off sometimes to a center. You can switch him sometimes to a center. Now, he may not always be effective, like playing against a player like Anthony Davis. Like Anthony, he may have some struggles because Anthony Davis is a very, very, very skilled basketball player. His only issue is he can't stay on the court. And so Amen Thompson, that's the first one. Amen Thompson is the X factor. And if you're going to go up against some of these teams in the Western Conference, they have to account for him. Not only do they have to account for him on the offensive side of the ball, but they got to account for him on the defensive side of the ball. You're going to have to scheme ways to get Amen Thompson off of your best player. You're going to have to scheme. These coaches are going to have to scheme and find ways to get him off of their best player, because 9 times out of 10, Ime is going to put him on the best player. And when he does that, he takes a lot of them out of rhythm. Now, when you hear these coaches talk about Thompson, you hear what they say. Hey, look, that young man is different. That young man can hoop. I remember asking Sacramento Kings interim head coach Doug Christie, has he seen anybody like our man that he's either played with or that he's coached? And he said, yeah, his brother, Asar, who plays up in Detroit, which, by the way, I think he's top 5, top 10 in assists. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Y'all give me a second. This is why you listen to and watch the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. Answer the phone, my guy. Bro, answer the phone. I know you watching.
Your call has been forwarded.
Hold on. Let me tell him this. Hold on. Hey, man, answer the phone. people like that sometimes. All right, let me see if I can do it again. He may or he may not answer. Dang it. Uh, so I was trying to call Cody M. Davis, right? Beat writer for the Detroit Pistons. Who he covers the Detroit Pistons for the Detroit News, right? Y'all know Cody. Cody used to cover the Texans here. Cody used to cover the Rockets. And then he moved to Detroit. He's currently, covering the Detroit Pistons. And I was going to get him on the phone to ask him about Asar, because I think that Asar Thompson, our men's twin brother, I think that he either leads the league in steals, maybe not lead the league, but I think he's top five. I think he's top five in assists. But let me tell you what this dude, for lack of a better word, said. Hey man, literally just woke up. We stayed up till 2:30 in the morning watching and laughing and hanging with Mr. Cooper. Mind you, Cody is like 33 years old. What are you doing stand up? Hanging with Mr. Cooper came out when? How long ago? Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I digress. The first thing is Amen Thompson is the X factor. Amen Thompson is one thing that is one player that could help the Houston Rockets in the playoffs. The second thing that I have is, and this is the funny part, right? This is how sports work, right? This is how sports work, because you're gonna have some coaches out there that'll tell you, "Oh yeah, man, I got with the assistants, and we devised this scheme and we devised this plan, and we made sure we put it into we implemented it into the game plan and made sure that it worked, and this is why we've been so successful at doing this." And a lot of times they be lying. Because if you've ever coached anything, coaching is about trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You never ever know. You never know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. When it works, you look like a genius. When it doesn't work, you look like a fool. But when it works, and then you start being like, yes. What we did was we went back and we did some film study. And during film study, we noticed that if we implemented this into the game plan, it would work. Yeah, that's true. What I'm about to say next ain't had nothing to do with the game plan coming into the game against the Dallas Mavericks. So the Houston Rockets have stumbled upon an important piece on the offensive side of the ball. Now they're playing double bigs. So they're playing with Steven Adams when he could stay in the game and not be fighting. They're playing with Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun at times. They're putting Steven at the 5 and Alpi at the 4. And for those of y'all who don't know basketball terminology, and that's not a shot or a knock at you, some people just don't know. The Steven Adams is playing the center position, and Alperen Sengun is playing the power forward position. And so they go that double big lineup, and sometimes they even go triple big by adding Jabari Smith Jr. in there. And when they do that double big lineup, it's hard for teams to combat that, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because now you have Steven Adams setting these picks for Alpi, and you know how effective Alpi is in the low post. And so when Steven comes up and he sets that pick, and now Alpi gets switched off onto either a smaller defender or one that's not as skilled as holding Alpi, and then he goes to work. He goes to work down in that low post. He goes to work. He goes to work down there, and he does. I mean, we see he was an all-star this year, so we know what he can and what he can't do. But when you watch him and you see him doing that type of stuff, and then you bring in Jabari, so not only does that help them on the offensive side of the ball by freeing up Alperen Sengun and letting him go to work down in the low post, him being able to use his moves. It also hinders teams from being able to rebound because Steven Adams is going to rebound, Alpie's going to rebound, and Jabari is going to rebound. And I think that the game before, I can't remember, y'all. So y'all give me a second. Who did they play before they played Phoenix the other night? Orlando. In the Orlando game, right? In the Orlando game, Steven Adams had 17 rebounds and Alpie had 14. And I think that Jabari had 7, Tari had 7, Jalen Green had 7. Like, that's a lot of rebounds. And when you go to that double big lineup, Alpie's going to crash the boards. Adams is going to crash the board. When Jabari's in the game, he's going to crash the board. And so that's something that they stumbled upon playing against the Dallas Mavericks. And that didn't come about just because that's what they want to implement. They wanted to see if that would work. How that came about, how they stumbled upon that double big lineup, and I was at this game, how they stumbled upon that double big lineup was, remember when the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers traded, right? They made that trade. And if you watch the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, the Texans Happy Hour on Thursday, I told you, hey, do the deep dive on how the trade came about. But when they made that trade, Anthony Davis didn't play when he first got to Dallas. And in his first game in Dallas, it was against the Houston Rockets. And he was busting their ass. Hand of heart. Anthony Davis was killing them. Hey, I don't know how many of you all used to play. Hey, what's that game? Somebody put it in the comments. What's that game we used to play? And he used to be like, he's on fire. He's on fire. Wasn't it that the game, the 2-on-2 game where you play, and then if your man hit a bunch of consecutive shots, they'd be like, he's on fire. And then you go to dunk or whatever, and you got the fire trailing behind you. That was a good game. You know what else is a good game? Some of y'all kids, some of these games are so advanced right now. Some of y'all will never remember playing double dribble and finding the right spot. Get that corner. And all the players look the same, so you ain't know who was shooting the ball. Double dribble. You just trying to find that spot, right? Is it NBA Streets? I don't remember if it's NBA Streets or not. But Anthony Davis was hot. Anthony Davis was killing the Rockets. And then they decided to go to the double big lineup, and then Anthony Davis, in true Anthony Davis fashion, got hurt. And then that was it. The Rockets still lost the game because they had a lot to come back from. NBA Jam. Thanks, Rashad. NBA Jam. He's on fire. That's what Anthony Davis was. He was killing them. Inside, outside. I'm saying to myself, bro, y'all traded for Anthony Davis, not LeBron. How y'all traded for that? I know that's Anthony Davis. That's not LeBron. That's Anthony Davis. But I do wear glasses, so I like, hey man, that's AD, right? I should have turned to Kelly Eco, NBA regional reporter for the Athletic New York Times. I should have turned to him and said, hey, bro, hey, that's Anthony Davis, right? That's not LeBron. That's how hot he was. He was killing them. And then they went to that double big lineup, and they found something in that double big lineup, and that's something that they have been using ever since, and that has helped them because there's not too many teams in the Western Conference that can combat that double big lineup. And then if you can combat that, then what Ime would do would be like, okay, so if Tari started, he'd be like, don't worry about it. Cool. Hey, going on in there, Jabari. Because then now you think about it like this. Even if Tari starts and then you bring Jabari in, right? You bring Jabari in. And so now you got Amen, you got Steven Adams, you got Sengun, and you got Jabari in there. And there's not a lot of teams that could combat the Houston Rockets when they go that big. When they go that big, there's not a lot of teams that can, and that all came about. They stumbled across that because Anthony Davis was killing them. That's that game that the Houston Rockets played like at 2:00 on a Saturday. Matter of fact, it was right after the trade, And it was right after the trade, and it was the first home game in Dallas, and that's when they were protesting in front of the arena. That's when they were protesting in front of the arena. And they stumbled upon that, and it's something that they found. And that's how it happens sometimes. Look, in sports, that's just how it happens. Sometimes you just find these things out. Hey, that may work. Hey, let's stick with that. Let's see that. I don't know if you all remember, it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when Steven Silas was still coaching the team and Kevin Porter Jr. was still with the team. I think like the last month, the Houston Rockets offense changed. And the reason why it changed is because Jalen and KPJ were running, it was different. They were running, they were screening for each other, right? Instead of having the big come up and screen for either Jalen or KPJ so they can get around, they started screening for each other. And so when the person rotated, whoever got rotated on, or if you can get a trailer to follow you just for a second and you kick the ball over to KPJ, KPJ kicks it to Jalen, or Jalen kicks to KPJ, and that became very effective. Now, Mahmoud, who was an assistant coach at the time, had tried to implement something like that, and it's like, no, we're cool with that. And then they used it in the game, and they used it effectively, and they had to go to it because somebody got hurt, and they lost a scoring option. And so they's like, hey, let's try to use that. They just stumbled upon that. And so that's how sometimes it happens. And so the Rockets going into the playoffs. Amen Thompson is going to be the X factor. That double big lineup that they stumbled up on is going to be a X factor. And this one going to sound crazy to you. Fred VanVleet's injury actually helped Jalen Green. I want to say Orlando. In the Orlando game. Hold on. Y'all give me a second. Let me see. How many? I think he had 8 assists in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I think Jalen Green had 8 assists in that game. And I don't have these stats up because I wasn't going to look for them. I wasn't looking for them. I didn't plan on talking about this, but yeah, so my bad. So yeah, no, I was right. Against Orlando, he had 8 assists. And then 2 games prior against New Orleans, he had 8 assists. And what Coach Ime Udoka said when I asked him about it, and what Dylan Brooks said, Dylan Brooks echoed what Ime said that when it comes to what Jalen has been doing from the point guard position, he needed that. It's like we're not so much worried about the turnovers. We understand he's going to have turnovers because that's not his natural position. Point guard is not his natural position. Now, with him having the ball in his hands as a shooting guard, that's one thing. But him having to facilitate the offense, that's not something he's done. Jalen said that you got to go all the way back to his high school days of him playing point guard. And he said even then, that wasn't like a natural point guard. I just had the ball in my hands. And so trying to run an NBA offense, and when he's at the 2, when Fred's at the 1 and he's at the 2, and they start running different plays, it's different for him to run the action because he's involved in the play. He's not initiating the play. But now when he initiates the play, what it does is it gives the defense time to set up to be able to adjust to him. And because he is their leading scorer, because he is one of the primary scorers on the Houston Rockets, if we can blitz him, get the ball out of his hands quickly and early, now we can do whatever it is we need to do. So that's one of the reasons why you see some of those turnovers that Jalen had, because he's not used to being a facilitator like that, initiating the offense. But when Fred went out, they said, hey, next man up mentality. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I have you on speakerphone. I'm currently on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. And I'm talking about the Rockets could give teams problems in the playoffs. I've also told the viewers and the listeners, and for those of you all who are watching and listening, hey, this is Cody M. Davis from the Detroit News, who covers the Detroit Pistons. Used to cover the Houston Texans and the Houston Rockets. Good morning, Cody Davis.
Yes, sir.
First of all, what your old ass doing up so late watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper? When that came out in the 90s, the 80s, the
Yeah,
90s.
yeah, the 90s.
What the hell you doing staying up so late watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, it's a funny show, man. It's
Did-
a funny show. I just start watching it.
Well, you know what? I can say, hey, research purposes, right? Because he used to hoop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it was a funny show at the time. And look, how many people didn't realize that that was Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother in the show?
I think a lot of people didn't. But I just realized that they were brothers like a year or two ago.
For real?
I mean, they do look alike, so I just don't put two and two together.
So speaking of brothers, the reason why I was calling you is because what I'm talking about is the what the Rockets could give some teams problems in the playoffs. I started off with our man Thompson being the X factor and how he should be on the all defensive team. And if he hadn't gotten hurt, he could have made a case for being defensive player of the year. But I was talking about the way that he plays defense. And I said, but his brother also plays defense as well. Hey, where does Asar rank as far as steals is concerned in the NBA?
He didn't have a steal the other day, so he probably dropped down to like three in steals since like January 3rd or something like that. I can't remember the actual date that they go back to.
Yeah.
But he's had like almost 40 to 50 steals since like January 1st. And he was ranked second, but like I said, he didn't have a steal the other night, so he probably dropped down to like third.
Cody, when you watch him play, and look, yeah, yes, this is ghetto for those of y'all watching. This is super ghetto because I'm talking to Cody, and I got a board right here that I could actually Bluetooth Cody in. But no, that would just be no. This sports talk with Big Sarge. This we do things. What do we? Hey, hold on, Cody. Last night on the happy hour, somebody said sports talk with Big Sarge is hood, helpful, and wholesome. So I'm gonna stick to that in true form. Cody, because you've covered both players, because you've watched both players, how similar are those two twin brothers is on the defensive side of the ball?
No, they're identical. I mean, they're identical just like the way they look. And that's on both sides of the ball. Like, for me, I think Asar is more versatile on the defensive end, but not by much. Yeah, literally, like, not by much. I mean, both of them can guard positions 1 through 4. Both of them can, they on-ball defenders, help defense. Their IQ is there. Like, they are literally, like, the way they look identical, the way they play identical. Like, all jokes aside.
Yeah. And I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think that well they're different and the way that I look at them, they're different. The difference is only one thing. I think that Amen is stronger than Asar. I think that he's stronger, and I think that Asar is quicker. That's what leads to those steals. I think he may be quicker and with the reaction. Now, Cody, listen, I'm saying this on the show. I'm saying this to you. I'm saying this to the viewers and the listeners right now. I would never say that to Amen because they are so competitive. I cannot say, hey man, I think that Asar may be a little bit quicker than you on the defensive end. He's like, quit playing, Sarge. Don't play with me like that. What?
And that's how Asar be in Detroit.
Right. He's like, let me call him. Right. Because I remember Cody, I was in the locker room and I asked him, I said, hey man, and I'm talking about a man. Hey, which one of y'all got the quicker first step? You or Jalen? And he started laughing. Right? And he said, hey, why don't you ask Tari? I was like, what you mean ask Tari? He said, ask Tari. Who's the fastest? He said, ask Tari what happened when me and Jalen raced during training camp. Ask him who won. And then so Jalen walked in. I said, Jalen, I heard you got dusted by our man in a foot race. He's like, what? He said, ask Tari. Tari heard him around the corner. Tari came in. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no parts of this conversation. I'm not in it. Right. So that's why I say, I would never say that Asar has quicker first step to him. But Cody, yeah, I was just calling you, man, because like I said, I'm doing this segment. I'm doing this show on the Rockets, and I do remember that. I remember that Asar is right there as far as steals is concerned, and he is. And Cody, it's so crazy because you've covered the Rockets. You covered the Rockets, and you see how they were able to, have the season that they had last year, and build up off of that, going 41-41, almost making it to the play-in game. And especially with the, you were here doing what you call it, silence forever. you were here doing this, you were here doing this silence for life. You were here doing the Stephen Silas years, and you seen what that team went through, and what happened, after they got Ime Udoka. Cody, is that the same thing that they're going through in Detroit? Because Detroit was not good last year. Now all of a sudden you look up, what are they, 37 and
I think they're 37-29 or 37-30 because they lost to the Wizards last night. Don't ask me, I wasn't there. I took that game off.
Cody, I seen that and I was like, how did they lose to the Wizards though? And then they just beat the Wizards the game before.
Yeah, they did. They beat them Tuesday.
So
they beat them Tuesday. But look, I wasn't there, so I have no idea. I ain't watched that 1 minute of that game, so I don't know.
But Cody, and when they played against each other, when the Rockets and the Pistons played against each other, you haven't covered both teams. You seen the similarities like that, especially with the way the Pistons were able to turn their season around?
Yeah, definitely. That's something I had asked Ime Udoka when we was there in January. I asked him, what are some of the things he's seen in Detroit. That was something that he was talking about. That was something he was talking about, like his the similarities between both teams. They got a new coach. They got 2 or 3 rising stars. Of course, the main two you talk about Rockets and Pistons, Jalen and Cade. How the way they brought in veterans to help change the culture, and both the Rockets and the Pistons are a testament to how important it is to surround young players with veterans, and not just veterans that's just going to sit on the end of the bench or wait till training camp, or the release time in order for them to go on to a championship contending team. Veterans that wants to be there, they understand why they're there, and they literally want to help and change everything. And just like how we saw Fred and Dylan and Jeff Green and all of them, change the culture in Houston. That's the way you see with Tobias and Tim Hardaway and Malik Beasley and them, just changing the culture and stuff, and, being there. And, you're looking at guys that's like, they're not about to go out there and give you 20, 30, and 40. No, that's what you got people like Jalen, LP, Jaden Ivey, and K for. These are guys to where, look, we was up by 10, the other team making a run. No, we're going to, just like I saw Fred and them used to bring them in the huddle mid-game and be like, yo, we got 3 minutes left. Y'all need to calm down.
Yep.
The same thing I'm seeing with, Tobias and, Tim Hardaway Jr. and them, So, yeah, it's definitely the same situation. And it's another indication on how you can't, how can I put this? You can't judge these young players so early in their careers, especially when they're not.
Preach, Cody, real quickly. And for those of y'all who are just joining the show, this is Cody M. Davis, a beat reporter for the Detroit News, covers the Detroit Pistons, used to cover the Houston Rockets here in Houston. Cody, I'm glad you said that, bro. And I was really calling to just get one answer, but now that I got you on the phone, just to look, a couple of more things. One, bro, why don't people listen to that? Why don't people, hey man, you got to give these players time to develop. People think that I'm crazy when I say, hey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was not always SGA. He wasn't the SGA. Didn't he come off the bench for the Clippers? Came off the bench for the Clippers, got to Oklahoma City, and look what he did. He thrived. James Harden came off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder, got to the Rockets, and I mean, what did we say? That Toyota Center is the house that James built, right?
No, James he fixed it up. That's the house that T-Mac and Yao and Francis built.
Oh,
He built the foundation.
Wait.
He renovated it. That's what he said. He renovated.
No, that's the house. That's the house that James Harden built. James,
you can't build
The Toyota Center is the house that James Harden built and that Eric Gordon maintained. You heard me, that Eric Gordon maintained. Hey.
That don't do much decorating, but they'll just add one little poster, but it's in the right place.
Yes, we got us a new TV. Look how it changed the trajectory of the living room. But we know that the Toyota Center is the house that James built. But hey, and listen, hold on. I put it like this: the foundation may have been laid. James put the mansion on it. Bro, you hold on. Hey, look, hold on. Hey, if you want to do this, let's do this right, Cody. Let's do this right now. Let's bring our let's bring our off-air conversation on air real quick. Are you trying to tell me that after Hakeem Olajuwon, James Harden is not the second best Rockets to ever put on a uniform? What? Who you? Oh my God. You can't neglect. Bro, Moses Malone was playing against dudes at the Fondy. They was playing on professional team, man. Look, Moses Malone was playing against people who had second jobs. He was in the NBA. Anyway, Cody. Dominated the league in rebounding, just like the way James dominated the league in scoring for about 3-4 years now. So don't get it twisted, bro. Don't get it. That's why I said we can debate second, but he's definitely James Harden is the second best Houston Rockets player ever, hands down, point blank. Period. Because hey, look, if we're gonna argue that, then we might as well argue. Hey, Ralph Sampson helped him get to finals too, NBA finals too. He hit a shot against the Los Angeles Lakers to put him in there. Hey. If that's the case, then we might as well say Mario Elie. The kiss of death when they beat Phoenix, then they make the play, and then they make the finals that year. Okay, well, that's still a final, semantically speaking. Before you get off this phone, though, Cody, real quick, I gotta ask you a Rockets question because you brought it up about letting these young players develop, like what you all have in Detroit with Cade Cunningham and what the Houston Rockets have with Jalen Green. With that being said, the Rockets don't need to make no trade with the Suns to bring in Devin Booker, do they? They don't need to make a trade for none of them big stars players. I mean, I would say flip Cam and probably one other person for like another 3-D player to come off the bench and you fine. Like they don't need no. And I know it's gonna sound crazy because I get it. It's Kevin Durant, top 15 player of all time. But I mean, watch what you say. Watch what you say. My favorite player. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, no, they are literally set for the future. Like, you have all your core and foundation pieces. Like I said, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna say flip Cam because he's the one that his upside, trajectory and stuff with that team doesn't really fit anymore. So, yeah. But nah, they don't need any type of big name unless you. Unless you do something like trade for Luka Doncic or something. I don't want Luka. He don't play defense. But these days Luka just get traded for out of nowhere. Hey, they be like, what y'all want for Luka? Y'all got 2 Papacitos and a Papados y'all give us. We'll take it. But hey. Look, Cody, I know you got to go to practice. When we're gonna finish this conversation, I'm gonna say this: I would definitely trade for 2 to 3 more years of KD. I'm not trading for Devin Booker because you already got a Devin Booker type player on your team already. So that's the thing. That's like the way I look at the KD situation. It's like, what would you giving up? Because I'm not giving up LP. I'm not giving up Jalen. I'm not giving up. I'm not even giving up Jabari and Sarge. I'm damn sure not giving up my men. Hey, Cody, I gotta let you go. I gotta go argue with Marcus because Marcus says, hell no, Sarge. James wasn't better than T-Mac and Steve Francis. And I know them your 2 favorite players. They was the reason why you started watching the Rockets, right? They were. When I first moved to Houston, I had 1
maybe 2 years with Steve, and they got T-Mac.
Hey, Cody, I appreciate it, man. Hey, hit me up when you get out of practice, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, later, man. Hey, Cody done took my. I listen. Y'all see this? Hey, let me go over the rest of the list real quick because I got something I need to get to. So I said Fred VanVleet's injury helped Jalen Green become a better point guard because now you're forced to be on the ball instead of being off the ball. And I think that will help them later on, especially now you can have Jalen start some sets and let Fred, go and set up where he sets up and floats off. But, having him and learning that position, even with the turnovers that he had, but you can see that he started to learn the position more and more and more. So that I think that Jabari's health and spacing helps the offense. Now, I listen. I watched my little nephew. I watched my little nephew. You know who you are, nephew. I ain't gonna say your name, but I heard you dogging out Jabari the other day as far as shooting the threes, and I get it, right? Jabari has not been shooting the threes as effectively as most people would have thought. But Jabari's game isn't just go sit him in a corner. Jabari's game is get him the ball and let him get to his spots. Just like Kevin Durant's game is give him the ball, let him get to his spots. And so, Jabari is now being able to, hey, if I ain't got this, let me move. And then he starts to move and he getting the ball and he's taking advantage. And he's taking advantage of playing on that second team as well. So Jabari's spacing is health and his spacing on offense, and his defensive presence is going to definitely help the Houston Rockets. And so they're currently 5th seed. And I think that if they played the Lakers today, that the Rockets could beat the Lakers. A healthy Rockets team could beat a healthy Lakers team. If they jump to number 2, they would be playing Minnesota, and stopping Anthony Davis is a tall task. And so if you go to the double big lineup and may be able to help you to clog the lane, but we also know that Anthony Davis has taken the most 3-pointers in the NBA, so he's not afraid to shoot. And if you're going to clog the lane, he's just going to stay out there and shoot. And so you probably would have to switch our men on him to try to slow him down just a little bit. Anthony Davis is by far, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, excuse me. If I've been saying Anthony Davis, I meant Anthony Edwards. And so Anthony Edwards is by far one of the best in the game, and he opens up a lot for Minnesota. So I think that they could beat the Lakers. And like I said, this is excluding, listen, I'm not talking about the Houston Rockets could give the Oklahoma City Thunder problem. No, we're not talking about that. What I'm talking about is they could give other teams problems. So I think currently where they sit, they could beat the Lakers. If they jump up to number 2, which they're 1 game out of the 2nd seed, they would have to play Minnesota. I think they could beat Minnesota. Now, if they jump to the 3rd seed, if they get to the 3rd seed, and if the current rankings stands, right, they'll be the 3rd seed. And the team that could put them out of the playoffs outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder is the Golden State Warriors. I don't know what it is about Golden State. They have been the thorn in the Houston Rockets side for a long time. And they could beat the Rockets. And the reason why they could beat the Rockets is because of their offense. When you watch the way that they play offense, and you watch how long Steph and Draymond has been playing together in their offense, and then you get the others to chip in. You get the other players on the team to play their roles, and then you got Jimmy Butler who can give you who can play on both ends of the court. But just the way that they run that offense, even if you're switching, you're getting caught up. And you got to literally beat them and put them out of the game. You got to blow them out. And you got to get a lead on them and keep a lead on them, because anytime Steph Curry is on the floor, he can get you back into any game. And so, excluding Oklahoma City, the only other team that I think that the Houston Rockets, a fully healthy Houston Rockets team, will have trouble with would be the Golden State Warriors. Now, before I get up out of here, because I got a meeting at 11:30. Before I get up out of here, let me say this, right? I disagree with Cody. Thank you, Cody, for joining. I know you're watching now, using your little earpiece. I really appreciate it. I disagree. I think that if you're going to bring in a player, I think that you do give up 1 or 2 players and some draft picks to you give up 1 or 2 players and some draft picks to the Phoenix Suns and bring in Kevin Durant. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to sound biased because y'all know Kevin Durant's my favorite player, but you bring him in and now you have another shooter on the floor. You have another player that can shoot, and with what you have in with Alpi and what you got with Jalen, and then if you bring Fred back, I mean, you got somebody he would be able to roam free on the floor as well. And then you come in with a second unit that includes Jabari and Tari. I would do that. I'm not trading for Devin Booker. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Devin Booker fan. I don't want y'all to get that twisted. I'm a Devin Booker fan. What I'm not going to do, though, what I'm not going to do is bring in another high volume shooter and stunt the growth of Jalen Green. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I think that where Devin Booker is, maybe they need to keep him as the staple of that team and then build around him. They're trying to put that big three together. It didn't work. So some way, somehow, you got to find some way to get rid of either Bradley Beal or Kevin Durant. Maybe two of them will work together. All three of them can't work together. It's not enough basketball to share. And when you watch their offense, as I have watched them not only in person, but I watch the games as well because, like I say, I like to watch Kevin Durant play. Their offense gets so stale at times, like super stale. Like they'll shoot KD in the one corner, shoot Bradley Beal in the other corner, and then let Devin Booker go to work. And then they just rotate. Now it's Kevin Durant's time to go to work. They never really seem like they flow. It doesn't flow. And so what I think that you should do is keep Devin Booker, build around Devin Booker in Phoenix. And if the Houston Rockets are going to make a splash and they're going to go after KD, then go after KD. I think he may have I think KD has at least 2 good years left in him before you got to go ahead and call it quits because everybody ain't LeBron. Everybody is not LeBron. Not this last time, but the time before that, when the Phoenix Suns came, I was asking Kevin Durant about that, about playing in the league and how long he's played. And I was like, everybody can't be LeBron. And he started laughing because he's like, man, that dude's just different. And he is just different. And so, nah, I'm not. I wouldn't trade for Devin Booker. And I like what the Houston Rockets are doing. And I like the fact that, you're watching Alper and Şengün develop. You're watching Jalen Green develop. Both of them are in the 4th year. And you're starting to see now that they're starting to get it. They're starting to understand. They're starting to see what Ime, wants them to do. You're starting to see, how Tari plays his role, how Jabari plays his role, how our man is going to be the next superstar, be one of the next. He's up next. He's going to be a superstar in this league if he continues on the trajectory that he's on, and he can stay healthy. Now, side note, AD, I see you. Mike, I seen you try to drop that DEI advertisement in here about the H-Town rundown. I told you, after January 20th, your president, President Trump, and Elon Musk said what? No more DEI. We're getting rid of DEI. So don't come up in my live feed trying to drop y'all DEI advertisement and rundown. Hold on, let me find it again. Where is it at? Hey, don't come in here trying to drop your DEI advertisement talking about tuning to the H-Town rundown every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hell, you can just say every day. Hey, tune to the H-Town rundown every day, y'all. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Who in the hell takes Tuesdays and Fridays off? That's the weirdest thing ever. Who the hell take? Yeah. So, hey, what days, what days would you like off? Yeah, let me get Tuesday and Friday. What? Wait. Yeah, man. We do the show on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, Tuesday's not a good day for me. It's just, I just, I'm recovering from Monday, and it's just, it's a lot going on. Mondays are just like, after me, and I got to recover. So I take Tuesdays off, and then Fridays, I'm just like trying to recover from Thursday. Hey, y'all make sure y'all tune into the H-Town Rundown every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, back to you, AD. Hey, man, don't come up in my space trying to start some stuff playing catch up. Hey, get here on time. If you want to be acknowledged, get here on time. Don't be coming in here and try to flood my time, flood my comment section with all this other stuff that you should have been saying. And next week, what's today? Today, my bad. You off on Friday. I forgot there's no H-Town Rundown on Friday. So that's why you jumped up in here. You slept late after working on Thursday, right? I got it. Hey, next week, I need you to carve out some space. You let me know when you're available. You need to come on up in here or the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. Because me and you got some things that we need to discuss. I don't like the way you painting me in this Laramie Tunsil situation. I don't. Now, of course, hey y'all, let me tell y'all something. AD know that it ain't nothing but love between me and him. I don't have this ain't salacious, malicious. This ain't with no ill intent, nothing. We're really just he's passionate about what he's passionate about. I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about. But at the end of the day, it's all love. I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. Like me and AD got beef. Like we don't have real beef. Now we got beef, but we ain't got no real beef. Because I need you to come up in here because what you were saying about me the other day, I didn't have a chance to really just listen to the show and dive in. And of course, I came in late just like you did today. So what I heard may not have been what you said from the get-go. I just responded to what I heard. And yes, of course, yes. Hey, bro, yes, that's very unprofessional. It is. It's unprofessional. But I'm just going by what I heard, and that's what I responded to. But I'm gonna need you to come up in here so you and I can have this, could have this discussion. Because I don't like the way you was painting me about this whole Laramie Tunsil situation. And then, where you get White Mike from? White Mike is the one that's up in here. Look, White Mike is the one up here talking about listen to the H-Town Rundown. How you get White Mike up in here? Hey, Mike, if you can hear me, if you're watching, if you can hear me, it is March. It is no longer February. You do not owe AD a Black History Month gift. You don't have to be nice to him anymore. It's March. You had 28 days to be nice to him. And not only that, your president got rid of DEI. He got rid of DEI, CRT, LMNOP. Like he got rid of all them acronyms. See, they done. So Mike, listen, you don't have to do that against your will anymore. If you don't want to do that, just don't do that. Hey, Mike, blink twice if you're in trouble. You should have showed us the suited and booted Sarge. Is this the big meeting? Go get that. Yes, this is the big meeting. This is the big meeting. Hey, HD, don't worry about it. I'll be back doing the Texans happy hour this afternoon. What's today? Friday? Rockets play tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. But I'm gonna come just like I did last time. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that I come and I'm doing Texans happy hour. Cause I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I listen. I'm just not feeling this. I'm not feeling what Nick Caserio has been doing in free agency. I'm not. And we gotta talk about that. Because that window, let me tell y'all how quickly that window closes, right? Let me tell y'all, hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all how quickly that window closed. We got beef, we need to cook. Exactly. The words, views expressed by RG, Mike are not those AD or the H-Town Rundown affiliates. No. Oh, so now look how he do you, White Mike. Look how he do you, White Mike. You see how he do you? Go back to my Jalen comment on him being passive. Let me see what you said about Jalen. Taco Tuesday, Freaky Friday. You know what? I'm surprised you ain't started no freaky conversation in here. Sarge don't like skin brothers. uh, hold on. I would address this, Mike, but now that I realize that you're being held against your will, I'm gonna pray for you. Hold on, where is it at? Where's your Jalen comment at so I can address it? Let me see if I can find it. I don't see it, AD. I don't see your comment about him being uh passive aggressive or passive or whatever you said. ABCD Trump with that. Exactly. Hey, put your comment back in there so I can talk about it before I get up off this show. I think Nick go cook in the draft for sure. Hey, Marcus, hold that thought. Hold that thought and come back. Hold that thought and come back this afternoon for the Texas Happy Hour because I need to address that. I need to address that now. Since AD is scared to put his comment back up in there, and I got to get ready to go. It's 10:58. All right, so look, hey AD, since you're off on Fridays, make sure you come back to the Texans Happy Hour this evening. And then y'all, hey, look, y'all tell me what y'all drinking on responsibly. Drink responsible. Make sure y'all got that. If y'all ain't get nothing else from Sarge, when you come back for the happy hour, and if you want to partake in liquor, the spirits, drink responsibly and do not drink and drive. This ad has been paid for by Big Sarge Media and Big Sarge Media LLC. Jalen is passive, man. The only thing Jalen isn't passive on is can somebody pray for AD? AD, listen, let me tell you something. I missed you too, bro. I missed you too. I be joining the spaces. I be hearing you. I be hearing you talk. I join the space and I join them as myself. I don't even join them listening anonymously. I be in there. I be listening. I missed you too, bro. This is wild. That is one of the wildest comments that I think that you've ever made outside of the fact that you got a K Michelle tattoo. This is wilder than you having a K Michelle tattoo. Tay, are you on the what are you on Central Standard Time or are you on Eastern Standard Time? Like what time zone are you in? Dang, 80, that was wild. Like I said, ain't nothing wilder than you having that K Michelle tattoo though. Before I go, what I'm gonna talk about during the Texans Happy Hour. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all might like since we're moving on and basketball season is about to go into the playoffs and different things. Y'all might be getting 2 shows a day. Y'all may get 2 shows a day. I'm not putting that up, Tay. I'm not. Hey man, I got the Big Sarge media. I don't have the Buzz and Petty. Can you wait until I put the Big Sarge media? I mean, a Buzz and Petty one up, and then we can talk about it. Oh, you're in the DFW? Okay, so it'll probably be. I got to do the Rockets tonight, so I can't do big. So I got the Rockets Friday night and Saturday night, so it probably won't be no late night happy hours because I'm gonna be covering the games, and then on Sundays I can't do that on the Lord's Day, even though every day is the Lord's Day. One day we'll have that conversation for the believers. So Monday I'll probably do another late night with Big Sarge happy hour, Texas happy hour. It'll be late night, but today it'll probably be around about 3:30 Central Standard Time. All right. But let me say this real quick and I gotta go. The reason why I said that window closed, that window closes quickly, go back and look at the Cincinnati Bengals. This is why Nick has to get it right now. Go back and look at the Cincinnati Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, for sure, AD. For sure, man. I can do that. I can do that. Let's make a time and get me on that. But before I go, y'all understand what I'm saying, right? We'll talk about that. You know what? I'm gonna write this down right now. Window closes quickly. That's why you can't be having all this. You can't be having all this. Yeah, you got to hit. You got to hit in the draft. You got to hit in free agency because that window is going to close quickly on you. And like I said, like at some point, I mean, and we're going to talk about this. Let me write this down too. At some point, these Texas fans ain't going to want to go to NRG Stadium or the new stadium that if they build a new stadium, these fans not going to want to go to NRG and just look up and be like, damn, that's a lot of AFC South banners. Damn, how many times they done won the AFC South? Hey, where the AFC Championship win at though? Where the Super Bowl appearance? So where the Super Bowl win? Eventually. That's diabolical. Been tuning to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. That's wild. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. It is wild. Follow me on the ticker and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because, you know, we do everything for the gram. Hey, that is a wild battle. That is wild. Oh, my God. That's worse than what AD said. And then you're going to say, Arby, she has the meat. You know what? Yes. 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 Hey, come back. Y'all come back. We'll be right here for the Texas Happy Hour, and I'll tell you how that window can close really quickly. That window can close like you at your grandmama house and she got the air conditioner on and you cut the window and she be like, if you don't shut that damn window, I'll come over there and knock you upside your head. Hey, man, Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work.